James Wannis, welcome to the tasting table. This gin is next. Now this is called Opihr. Now this is really spices of the Orient London dry gin. Stay tuned, I'll give you my thoughts, comments, point score, and when I buy it again assessment. Stay tuned. Now I have not tasted this gin. I see this anytime I go to the duty free in Europe, Europa, and I'm actually looking at this and I'm like, I should taste this, I should try this. And I was at Harvey Nick's, and I thought, oh, I saw it there too, I must try this. And so finally, there are so many gins to be tasting, I finally got the opportunity to taste this gin right now. Let me show you the bottle up close. I think it's a really cool spirited package for this spirit. I like this tie here. I think it's a nice way to present this. And I'm going to move this just on the side just for a moment, because here is the front panel and a very, very tiny, small back panel. Now this is really important. I'll show you why. Now I'm going to just tilt this over just a bit. Now you can see probably a bit of the trade routes, and this is where they get their botanicals to create this gin. And there's a really cool series they have on their YouTube channel. I'll place that right up here in the YouTube card so you can look at that. And I really don't do that often, because not all producers do I think a good job of producing videos, and it gives you that evocation. It doesn't really so far give you the absolute ingredient list. It's a nice way to think about this in terms of their videos, to see it's a point of difference gin. It's actually much different than I expected. Now, early on when I was tasting gins, I had some preconceived notions, and I thought they're all going to be very much similar or quite close to each other. It turns out that so many are so different, even in the London dry style, which I definitely expect some similarities, and in some ways they are absolutely vastly different from one another. But it's actually, in my intrigue, is to be tasting much more of a spice-oriented gin. Now this does deliver in that particular arena, and it's one where I think it's so different than, say, New World gins. Not a huge fan of most New World gins, probably the exception of maybe a handful, maybe 5 or so that I really think are quite exceptional. London Dry just keeps me coming back for more, as well as, say, Middle Europe gin such as Monkey 47, as well as Reitzenbauer's Blue Gin. So there's so many different ways of producing this very amazing, exhilarating spirit. Now I always taste this in a white wine glass. So this is a real glass Grand Cru Somme. I think it's a fantastic glass, and it has such immense quality to this, handmade. And I'm really excited to always own glasses that are handmade, because there is a point of difference. And so when you want to, first of all, if you get a bottle of gin like this, you want to be tasting this and smelling this from a glass like this, so you get a bit of that smell and really get that nose, because that's how us humans really determine how this is going to be on our palate. That's how we're going to taste this in terms of just that scent experience. So here we go. Now, first of all, I'm going to talk a bit about the materials. Here are some botanicals that are a point of difference. They have a Malaysian chua berries, Indian cardamom, Indian tilicherry, black pepper, Indian ginger, as well as Turkish cumin and Turkish grapefruit peel. So one thing I'm just going to give an overview on this in terms of when I tasted this, it tended to be a gin that was really, I would say, much more citrus on the front palate as well as the finish. And anywhere in between was that spice characterization. And so here we go. I'm going to give you some characterized notes here. Now this is nose of Amalfi lemon, cardamom, pepper, clove notes, as well as I would say even outdoorsy notes like suede and forest floor. Next is a palate characterization. So I think it's a very compelling gin, one where I'm getting orange skin as well as a bit of grapefruit notation on the front palate, then sequencing to ground pepper, clove, cardamom, and a bit of I would say dried herb notation as well, which I very much enjoy, such as a bay leaf. Finishes off with Amalfi lemon and Sicilian lemon. So very nice fruit characterization. It's not over the top in either direction, so not from the front to the finish. It's not over the top. It's a nice way to bookend this gin and really characterize this in terms of how this presents itself. Also, this mixes very nicely as well, which I tried this on a mixed cocktail, and one where I think it's going to be very nice to not get lost in the mix, because many gins can get lost in many a beverage, many a mixed cocktail, and this one does not. So it's definitely present, noticeable, and it's a really lovely gin. This is a 93-point gin out of 100 points. This is one I'm really glad I got to in 2022. It's a delightful one where if you really are interested in the notes that I just presented, and I think the spice notes come through, but not overwhelmingly so. I've had, I would say, a couple of gins this year that have really overexpressed and say black pepper notation, even ginger and somewhat of a lavender notation on other gins. And to me, that was so overwhelming to my palate that I'm not really experiencing the juniper. The juniper seemed to dissipate in those other gins. This one's a successful balance of that, and one where I think it is a really nice characterization. So thank you for watching today. Do appreciate it. This producer, by the way, does have other gins. I looked on their website. They have one called Aromatic Bitters, which I'd love to try that. A black lemon, which sounds very, just intriguing, and the Szechuan pepper. So a lot of notations from the Asian spice box. So thank you for watching. If you like this review, please give a like, subscribe to this channel. We see, videos on gin and other spirits, as well as wine accessories, wine glasses, and of course wine. Now be sure to share this video with somebody interested in gin. Thank you for watching today. I will see you in the next video review. Santé.